Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. Roman Reigns has been on a hiatus ever since he was brutalized by the Bloodline a few weeks ago on WWE SmackDown. While the company was advertising him for the September 13th episode of the Blue Brand, he has now been pulled from the upcoming show. Regardless, the original Tribal Chief's potential return doesn't seem too far off. Fans should expect Roman Reigns to return shortly to restart his feud with the Solo Sikoa-led Bloodline. The following piece will take a look at 3 potential directions for Reigns when he returns to the Stamford-based promotion. 3. Roman Reigns costs the Bloodline a potential win against Street Profits and #DIY. The Bloodline will take on #DIY and Street Profits in an 8-man tag team match on the Post-Bash in Berlin edition of WWE SmackDown. However, this could turn into something more, as fans could witness the return of Roman Reigns during the encounter. The creative team could have the original Tribal Chief return to help the babyfaces defeat Solo's faction. Reigns could then join forces with #DIY and Profits to take out the entire Bloodline. This potential angle would then lay down the breadcrumbs for a possible match between Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa at Bad Blood. 2. The original Tribal Chief forms a new faction with 2 enforcers. Given Roman Reigns can't fight the entire Bloodline alone, he will likely form a faction following his comeback. One potential name who is rumored to join his potential faction is Zilla Fatu. Son of late great Umaga, Zilla acknowledged Reigns on social media a while back and is expected to make his WWE debut shortly and align with the former Universal Champion. Zilla could be Roman's new enforcer, given his ruthlessness inside the squared circle. However, the former Shield member could have another enforcer in his potential faction in the form of Jacob Fatu. The 32-year-old was recently made to relinquish his WWE Tag Team title by Solo Sikoa. Given the humiliation, the Samoan Werewolf could turn on the Street Champion, only to join Reigns as the second enforcer. Before signing with WWE, Jacob used to team up with Zilla in the independent circuit. Hence, it won't be a bad idea if the company reunites them under Roman's umbrella. 1. Paul Heyman betrays Reigns, leading to a massive reunion from once being booed heavily despite being a babyface to being the face of WWE. Roman Reigns has come a long way. While much of the credit for this transition goes to the original Tribal Chief himself, one can't deny Reigns' special counsel and his best friend, Paul Heyman's, contributions to his career. The WWE Hall of Famer has played a crucial role in Roman's transition from the big dog to the original Tribal Chief of the Bloodline. However, it can be argued that Reigns now doesn't need Heyman's services. Hence, the legendary manager could betray Reigns for reigning Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker. Heyman shares a good bond with Breaker, and the company aligning the Hall of Famer with the up-and-coming star could lead to another legendary wrestler-manager partnership on television. If that is indeed the case, Heyman's betrayal could lead to a massive reunion. Given JUSO is currently involved in an angle with Braun, Reigns could return to help his former right-hand man, leading to a massive reunion. In the dimly lit corridors of the WWE arena, Roman Reigns had always walked with an air of invincibility. As the reigning Universal Champion and the head of the Bloodline, his dominance was unquestioned. But as with all great empires, there was always a threat lurking in the shadows, a threat that would emerge from the most unexpected place, a friend he had trusted, a friend who would betray him for a monster. The betrayal of the night began like any other. The WWE Universe buzzed with anticipation as Roman Reigns made his way to the ring, flanked by his loyal cousins, the Usos, and his special counsel, Paul Heyman. But on this night, something felt different. Reigns could sense it, though he couldn't quite put his finger on it. As Reigns stood in the center of the ring, the arena went dark. The screens around the stadium flickered before displaying a figure that had been absent from WWE for months, Braun Strowman, the monster among men. Reigns narrowed his eyes, muscles tensing as Strowman's menacing laughter filled the arena. But before Reigns could respond, his friend, someone he had considered a brother, emerged from the shadows. Sami Zayn stepped into the ring, his usual playful demeanor replaced by a cold, calculating expression. Reigns' confusion quickly turned to shock as Zayn grabbed a microphone, his voice dripping with malice. "Roman, you thought you had everything under control. You thought you could trust me, but you were wrong. You may be the tribal chief, but even you can't see everything. You were so focused on being the top dog, you didn't notice the monster I was creating right under your nose." With that, the lights in the arena flared back to life, revealing Braun Strowman standing behind Reigns. The monster among men wasted no time, delivering a devastating blow to Reigns, laying him out in the center of the ring. The Usos attempted to come to their cousin's aid, but Zayn, with a sinister grin, pulled out a steel chair, taking them down with brutal efficiency. As Reigns struggled to regain his bearings, Zayn and Strowman stood over him, the arena erupting into chaos. Zayn leaned down, his voice barely above a whisper, "I've joined forces with a real monster, Roman. Together, we will tear down everything you've built." The rise of OTC's two enforcers. Zayn's betrayal was not just a personal attack on Reigns, it was a calculated move to shift the balance of power in WWE. Aligning himself with Braun Strowman, Zayn had not only found an ally in his vendetta against Reigns, but had also created a new force within the company, the Overthrown Coalition, OTC. The OTC would soon be revealed as a faction dedicated to ending the reign of the Bloodline and restoring what they called true order to WWE. The OTC's strategy was brutal and straightforward, overwhelm their enemies with sheer force. To that end, Zayn and Strowman quickly established themselves as the faction's enforcers, sending shockwaves through the locker room. However, rumors began to circulate that Zayn was not content with just one monster by his side. In an unprecedented move, Zayn sought to recruit another behemoth to the OTC, a second enforcer who could challenge even the mightiest of opponents. Enter Omos, the 7'3", 400-pound giant who had been wreaking havoc since his debut. Omos, a man of few words but unmatched physical power, was the perfect addition to the OTC. Zayn, ever the manipulator, convinced Omos that aligning with the OTC would allow him to dominate WWE in ways he could never achieve on his own. With Omos and Strowman as the OTC's dual enforcers, the faction became an unstoppable force. They decimated anyone who dared oppose them, their sheer size and strength leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. The WWE Universe watched in horror as the OTC rose to prominence, with Zayn pulling the strings from the shadows. Three directions for the original tribal chief. Roman Reigns' return was inevitable, but the landscape of WWE had changed dramatically in his absence. The tribal chief had been betrayed, his bloodline shattered, and the OTC had taken over. As Reigns prepared for his comeback, three possible directions emerged for his next chapter in WWE. 1. Reclaiming the bloodline ***. The first and most straightforward path for Reigns would be to rebuild the bloodline. He would need to rally his remaining allies, the Usos, Solo Sikoa, and even Paul Heyman, and focus on reclaiming his position as the undisputed leader of WWE. This would involve systematically dismantling the OTC, starting with its enforcers, Strowman and Omos. Reigns would have to rely on strategy and cunning, using his experience and knowledge of Zayn's weaknesses to exploit any cracks in the OTC's armor. This path would see Reigns reasserting his dominance, restoring the bloodline to its former glory, and sending a clear message that betrayal comes at a steep price. 2. A new alliance ***. The second direction for Reigns could involve forging a new alliance with unexpected partners. Realizing that the bloodline alone may not be enough to take down the OTC, Reigns could reach out to other top WWE superstars, those who had previously been his rivals but who now shared a common enemy in Zayn and his monsters. This new alliance could include the likes of Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and even Randy Orton, creating a supergroup capable of challenging the OTC's dominance. Such an alliance would be fraught with tension and power struggles, but it would also showcase Reigns' ability to adapt and evolve in the face of overwhelming odds. 3. The Lone Wolf ***. The The final and most intriguing direction for Reigns could see him abandoning the idea of alliances altogether. Betrayed by a friend and seeing his family torn apart, Reigns might decide that the only person he can truly rely on is himself. This path would involve Reigns embracing a darker, more ruthless persona, a lone wolf who answers to no one and stops at nothing to achieve his goals. As a lone wolf, Reigns would engage in a relentless one-man war against the OTC, using guerrilla tactics to pick off his enemies one by one. This darker version of Reigns would be more dangerous than ever before, driven by vengeance and a desire to prove that he is the true power in WWE. The future awaits no matter which path Roman Reigns chooses. One thing is certain, his return will shake the very foundations of WWE. The betrayal of a friend, the rise of a monster, and the formation of the OTC have set the stage for an epic showdown that will determine the future of the company. And when the original tribal chief finally steps back into the ring, the WWE Universe will witness a battle for the ages, one that will leave an indelible mark on the history of sports entertainment.